It's the High Heel Tea Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Where we speak on real topics that'll make you laugh. Looking good, smelling good, that's a boss chick. Yeah. 6-inch heel, show you how to walk slick.
Hey.
High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast.
Hey.
High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast.
Hey.
High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast.
Hey.
And it's the podcast, and it's the high. High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast. High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast. High Heel Tea with Crystal Lee and Ree Podcast. And it's the podcast, and it's the high. Let's go.
Hey, welcome back to the High Heels and Tea Podcast. I'm Crystal Lee.
This is Rihanna.
And y'all, today we are joined by Tony Davis with Pop Hurray.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. I was about to say having us. I was about to say thank you for
Finally, right? Finally in the building on the couch.
Yes.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, we was real
Thank
dedicated to get Tony here, y'all. Like, this is our third
On his
attempt.
ass.
On me.
Yes.
I wouldn't miss it for the world. I knew
Every podcast recording session, I'm like, contact Tony.
I'm
See what he say.
Yeah.
Contact Tony. See what he say.
And y'all, and you know, this my fan, but y'all my girls from back, though.
Yeah.
So to see y'all still rocking, though, we're going to talk about the origin, the
Yeah.
fashion shows from back in the day, too.
I'm going to
Yeah.
dive right into that
Yeah.
because the very, very first time I was like, oh yeah, Tony, that would be dope. And I had to share with her how like you were really important to my entrepreneurship, right? I don't know if you recall, but you had your Purple Rain
Yeah, the Purple Rain. Yeah.
fashion show, and I was getting in contact with you to be a vendor. And he was like, why be a vendor when you could be a part of the show? I was like,
That was the voice.
I was like, but no, I don't, like, I'm not a footwear designer, He was like, psh, you can have your own segment and be a vendor. So boom, I went and I got some models. We did all the work behind the scenes, and that was just like Murder, She Wrote for me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
fun
That was Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh,
You were very important to that particular stepping stone for me as an entrepreneur.
Man, I'm happy
Look,
to
you
hear
about
it.
to cry.
I'm happy to hear it. No, really. I just been watching from afar. I've been like, oh, yes, my girl, too. Yeah, man, no,
Yes.
definitely. I'm happy to hear it. Because I'm a serial entrepreneur for sure. So, like,
you're an entrepreneur.
whatever's going on, like, I'm always going to push the entrepreneurial
Yeah.
spirit.
That's for sure.
So, yeah, I'm glad I was able to spark that in you.
For
And
sure.
But
you definitely took the ball in
Man, I've been on fire.
Went with it.
and ran.
I be like, it ain't nothing I can't do now.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause it ain't.
it's so funny. I actually was just asked a question recently about like, how did it feel to get started as an entrepreneur? And I mentioned how much self-doubt I had because I'm super behind. If you know me personally, you know I'm super low key, right? It has nothing to do with anything. I don't like people or anything. It's nothing like that. I'm just a real low key person, you know? And so I had so much self-doubt at the beginning, and doing that fashion show, it was like, man, I did it, right?
Yeah.
And so still to this day, every time I decide to do anything, it's still a sense of self-doubt because I'm human, right? You kind of go through that little trust system with yourself, like, can I do it? Will people support, etc.? And then you just do it, and voila, you know, like I said, Murder, She Wrote, you know what I'm saying?
Killed it.
Yeah,
Murder, She Wrote for sure.
killing it, and that's that. So that's really dope. As a serial entrepreneur, let's take it back. How long have you been
Take it
in
back. Take it back.
entrepreneurship?
So, so my first love was like music. Of course, I started like rapping and getting into music like 9 or 10.
know that.
Yeah, like
What's your
that's
rap name?
Legion the Kid, then Legion Luciano.
Okay.
Lucci. I had a lot of monikers, but
Yep.
honestly, it was Legion.
Used to be at the show. Like,
I get it, cuz.
But I was super on it though, like on music. But like so, like around 9 or 10, I kind of fell in love with it. I had older cousins that was doing it, people around me. So around 12, I really started to like, oh, I think I'm a rapper. But around that same time, I kind of fell in love with the concept of business, the
okay.
idea of business. So I really kind of fell in love with both. We was shoveling snow, selling candy, doing all that. I always say, like, in hindsight, looking back, when I really locked in on business, it was like 99. I remember the year because it was during the NFL. The Rams was here, still in St. Louis.
Okay.
We had the greatest show on turf. We had Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Right. So I go in Snooks. So a long short story. So I'm in middle school, 8th grade, I think. So we was doing a fundraiser. We was selling those little, everybody did it before. Those little, they come in these little white boxes, the little skinny chocolate bars.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? So we did that, and I had my mom selling. We sold it. I think we got like some corny prize from it. I was like, oh no, this is crazy. We sold like 500 or something. I was just like, all right, whatever. I go in Snooks one day. They had these Kurt Warner bars. It was like on an end cap.
Yeah.
And they was like Kurt Warner bars. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I looked at them. And for some reason, they were on sale for like 50 cents or something like that. I bought like all of the bars. Where I took them home. Because my mama had just sold all our candy bars before for the school. So I literally lied. I was like, Mom, now we selling Kurt Warner bars. She was like, oh, okay, what's this? Oh, I could really sell these. She said, but how much are these? So I paused for a second. I was like, but these are $3 because they got Kurt Warner on it. She's like, oh, okay, I got you. She went to work, sold them all in one day.
Look at you. He got like this.
So she's like, so when you got to turn the money in? I say, I think today. So she gave me the money. I go buy more, but then they didn't have any more at the Snooks. So now that's what my entrepreneur, in my mind, get to turning and turning. So I called, I forgot who it was. Someone else that lived by another Snooks. Like, I need you to go in the store and see if they have these Kurt Warner. I'm sourcing inventory. I got a sales funnel built in. I'm doing all of this. So when I come back, I tell my mom, like, actually, it's not a fundraiser. It's just for me. She didn't even believe me, so she sold it out again.
Well,
Try to tell the truth.
right.
Yeah. So then when she came back to her, I broke Mom's off. I was like, but then they just kind of
How much
disappeared.
money you give your mom?
I gave my mom like $20.
Okay.
She let me keep all of it. I think I made like 300 and she didn't really want nothing. I was just like, here you go, Mom. Yeah.
Profit margin.
Man, I'm talking about. But that was really like, I was like, oh, but the biggest thing, and I didn't really know it in the moment, but looking back is that I understood branding. I understood branding and the idea of like, the fundraiser bars we had was a sales channel we sold for that. I saw these Kurt Warner bars and I knew that they had a brand on it.
Because of Kurt Warner. And football happening. I think that was when they went to the Super Bowl.
They was the Super Bowl, so everything around there. So innately, again, I'm only 12, I'm in middle school, but I knew that I could sell these for more, and I knew that they could sell. So they kind of stayed with me. So I just say that to say, like, I kind of fell in love with business at the same time I fell in love with music. After that, I kind of just put my all into music. I had my first record deal at 16. I did something with McDonald's around 17. So I thought my life was just gonna be rap and music,
like jingles or something.
Yeah, so I landed. So they did. That's when they first introduced like the dollar menu. So I was working with we were called Hot STL at the time, but they're the Beasters. They the same production team that put out Jibs, and they have Big Boss Vet now.
Okay.
So they were my first production team, and we was all starting out together. So that's how I got that. But long story short, I thought everything was gonna be rap. All my 20s was just like rap.
Yeah.
I've had some amazing experiences though. Like I met some big people. I had some great opportunities.
Yes.
But eventually I just got burnt out on it. But luckily I always had that entrepreneurial spirit because I fell in love with business at the same time I fell in love with music. And it kind of like helped me get through like the ebbs and flows of the music business. And that's kind of, long story short, led me to today. To
gotta be in you, not on you.
It gotta be
That
in
part.
you. Yeah.
To be in you,
And then at one time on the north side, if you go anywhere on the north side, you gonna see the stickers that say,
Oh yes.
I am Legion.
Who is Legion?
Who is Legion? Oh, the stickers would be like, got a sticker right
What is
there.
that? Yeah. It was so crazy. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Them mugs was everywhere.
And I mean, I was slapping them everywhere. I just kind of had like a knack for branding, I think. Marketing and branding, I kind of knew. So I threw stickers everywhere. We made it on the news because we were blocking all of the parking signs. Not really knowing, though. We just putting them on anything we could put them on. So it was on the news. The news was calling me like, we want to do an interview. I'm thinking they like, I'm blowing up. They want to talk to me about Man, I get the interview and she like, so are you obstructing property? I'm like, what? Like, what you talking about? What you like? You know, like, and then it was like a whole story. They already had like a person, right? So it's a funny story. I think I made it. Scheduled. So they scheduled a news segment. They set me up really because they ain't tell me what it was about.
Which one was it?
It was like channel. I forgot what channel.
Look,
think about it.
They got the police in the
They
back.
set me up. No, but they had the dude. So it was a guy who got a ticket, right? And he was fighting the city because he like, I couldn't see the ticket because it had this Who is Legion sticker on. Man, they gonna pull me in on a story asking me like, so what are you? I was too mad. I was like crazy.
Yes. Did you have to go testify in court?
No, I didn't. It was just wild that the news, they could at least told me. I'm thinking, I swear I thought it was like, they must have went to
like
the
my city
website, heard the music. They trying to put your boy in place. I'm like, cool, all right.
Not you thought the city was behind.
Man, they tried to railroad you, boy. I'm like, man, get me off of here. What y'all?
Have
They ran the story anyway. The good things, though, when they ran the story,
Yes.
for whatever reason, they showed the website. So
Okay,
they was like,
awesome.
and it's these stickers, and it goes to a local rapper. And then it went to the website. So I was like, all in all, good publicity.
Yes,
I guess.
free publicity.
Yeah.
They after the interview, they're like, come here, sir. Come to the
Yeah, I'm
back.
telling you. I was really like, is they trying to like have me pay for tickets? I'm gonna have to pay to get these scraped off. I started talking to that reporter like he was the police. I'm like, I don't know how they got on there. I'm like, I give these out to fans and they do what they do.
But like, I hired a team.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them where to put them. They
my
put 'em-
street team.
I swear my whole demeanor changed. I was like, oh
Listen.
man, you trying to get me. But no, that was
Listen.
too funny.
Your McDonald's jingle. Do you remember what it was? How
I
did
do.
it go?
I do.
Gone.
It had like
Look.
I'm not singing it.
I genuinely want to know because this is so I didn't know
Look.
this part of you.
Yeah.
I met you
Look
when the
at me, like-
fashion came in, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
super intrigued. Like
Yeah.
it's so much to you. We're gonna get into everything else, but I'm so
She
intrigued.
want to hear this jingle.
Oh man, so it was a dollar menu. Keep in mind, I'm 16 years old though, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, let me see, man. Look at this, man. What this high heels and tea? They got me, man. I am a
So bad.
serial entrepreneur. Now we doing no.
Hey, you got
So
to
it's like,
from.
oh man, how did it go?
You need a beat.
I'm a no. It's look, you need a beat. It's like I'm gonna just give it to you straight, dog. If you in need for something to eat for cheap, then Mickey D's is the place. And it don't matter if you're balling or broke. You got $1 in your pocket, get whatever you want. I'm talking big and tasty and fries, Sundays and pies, every day of the week, dirty from Monday to Friday, and the weekends too. So anytime you're feeling hungry, come get something off the dollar menu. Oh man, I'm telling you.
They had the system.
And they had the, I said big and tasty though. Y'all remember they had the big and tasty back
They had
then?
them salad shakers too.
Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all really owe me. I gotta really rock with y'all. I done straight
Yes.
did that on camera and it's gonna live forever.
Yeah.
I thought
The people gonna be bringing it up.
bringing it up, man. You did that, but no, it was super cool though. I'm gonna tell you though, like that experience was amazing for me because for one, it happened when I was in high school. They played the commercial every time we were on the way to school, stuff like that. So I got super popular and notoriety from it. But it took my mind out of like rap, battle rap. It was like, oh, you can use your talent for something else. It was a small little seed we got paid from, but it really did broaden my horizon. So I started to look for different stuff throughout even when I was doing music, I was always thinking of outside the box
Different
ways.
ways.
So definitely that opportunity helped a lot.
I think what is it? Pusha T.
Yeah, they did
The McDonald's one
yeah.
too. So that was my first time ever hearing it. I think they did a bye.
Yeah, they came up with that.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So hearing you now, I'm just like, what?
Yep.
Like that's so dope.
It was so dope.
I think that's commendable. Like you should own it. I don't care what you're doing now. You should
Yeah,
own
no,
it.
I definitely.
I
definitely
care
own it.
about what you're doing now, but that's dope. This shows how dope you've been and for how long.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Because like I said, 10 years ago, it was this, and I always thought you were dope.
Yeah.
Before 10 years ago, what?
No, definitely.
You've been doing this too long.
Man, it's too easy for
Man,
you.
too easy.
All
But
right.
no, just blessings for sure.
Okay, so thanks for giving us that background on you. Let's get into Pop
Hurray.
Hey,
Yeah.
I tried to read this. I was like,
Yeah.
another word, Pop Hurray.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. So how did you come up with that name? Because I can tell just by saying it, that's exactly what I
It's
want to
definitely
do.
from that.
It's intentional. It was strategic.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that name?
So like, so I got into popcorn. I was in the youth entrepreneur space
Oh, okay.
to begin with, right? So I'm big on, like you said, when I was trying to encourage you, I'm just big on always encouraging the pursuit
Just
of
keep talking.
entrepreneurship, right? So I got into popcorn originally.
so much.
Look at right here.
Hold on, just keep talking.
Yeah. But see, I was doing like vendor popcorn, trying to do it as like a fundraiser for Made Moguls. So we created Mogul Munch. And so I was like, man, we doing it this way. I think I want to do like a brick and mortar retail with popcorn. Because I'm a popcorn lover. I go to Garrett's, I go to different places. So it was just a thought. It literally started with just like a maybe. And then just the entrepreneurial spirit in me, it just started to snowball. And I was like, I couldn't call it Mogul Munch. I knew that it didn't sound like a store. So I'm just brainstorming names. Literally, me and my wife sitting on the couch, I'm saying like pop something. And I was like, it got to be something with like
Something catchy.
something catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know how it was like a one thing led to another. Like you said, pop something. I'm like, nah, something.
Like hip
And I was just like,
hooray.
pop, and literally it's like hip hop hooray. And I said, pop hooray.
Oh.
And then I stepped saying, pop hooray
Yay.
all day though, like
Yeah.
all day. Just kept saying,
Yeah.
pop hooray, almost as a joke. And then it just kind of
It
stuck.
just
I was like,
yeah.
it could be.
Wait.
It could, and I'm visual. So like I
Okay.
played around with it
Okay.
and like set at the computer, just sort of see it, and then
Yeah.
it literally like
Took off.
came to life. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
this could
That's
work.
right.
This is it. This is it. And then one thing led to another, and boom, boom, boom.
We got it.
I want to make sure I heard you clear. I know you didn't say you was gonna name it Mobile Munch.
Mogul Munch.
Oh.
Yeah, not
What type of
Mogul
money?
Munch. Hey,
Yeah, that wasn't gonna be
So
pretty.
who the guy, who can get that guy you changed for Ice Spice came out?
man, oh yeah, Munch would have been crazy
Munch.
Not the
to
Mobile
keep
Munch.
going right.
Man,
You had the
okay.
wrong.
Be munching in hibachi.
I was thinking, so my organization was Made Moguls.
Yes.
And then I was thinking
Yes,
Crunch and
yes.
Munch. Yeah, it was Made Moguls. I was
Made
thinking, so
Moguls.
that's how we got to Mogul Munch.
Ah, good.
And that was the pre-package. But I knew that brand.
Like
Yeah.
y'all know
was
that one
short.
that own that munch. That munch.
Yeah, Munch guy.
That munch guy.
The
I already got to be like the popcorn man. Like it's like, all right,
Yeah.
man. But I'll take that. But I ain't want to be the Munch guy. Like,
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
you don't.
I
You
could be the
don't.
popcorn man.
Girl,
I'll
gonna be
take
like,
that.
so somebody just called me and said you got munch.
What is this?
this?
Yeah, in 2024, that took
We got
that took on a
shit.
whole
Got
new
everything.
meaning. Who would have thought?
Hurry up.
Why
Find
she
something
called you
different.
Munchy Snooks? Nah.
Like, ain't you?
Mr. Munch.
Right. What they
Why they calling you Mr. Munch?
Listen, thank God that name was changed.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So with the popcorn, I know this is like a real new industry, especially for our community, the
Yeah.
Black community.
It's dope.
We were just speaking with Kim regarding the coffee industry and how that's something that's really dope to tap into along, especially as African Americans.
Yeah.
Popcorn is another one of those industries
Yeah.
it's like, well, okay, you said popcorn. What got you into popcorn? What do you see is new, informative about this industry?
So I really am disrupting the industry. So it's been since we opened and since we grew and expansion, it's really kind of been an uphill battle because popcorn has been like a legacy thing.
Yeah.
Right. So all the big companies, even Garrett's, they lean on like
Yeah.
I think even on their badge it says like since 16.
Yeah,
I mean
their time
1960
frame.
something. Right. So it's like it's been this way. This how popcorn has been done.
Yeah.
And everyone in this space literally has been in it for like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind when I got into it as just an entrepreneur with the idea that I knew I liked popcorn.
Yeah.
I knew it could be a certain way, but I had no backstory in popcorn. When I bought my equipment, I didn't even know how to use my own equipment. I had never made, and this is one of those like true entrepreneurial spirits and where it's like, you ain't got to have it all right. You don't
Yeah.
got to know it all. I have never made popcorn before I had already signed my lease and bought my equipment.
Wow.
I just knew like this
Just be
is
throwing it in the
popcorn
microwave and
equipment.
pressing popcorn.
No, I mean it's like I had
Feel like
never
we gonna
used
make
my
this
equipment. I'm
popcorn.
like, this the equipment to make popcorn, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I already had the space. But imagine, but literally when the guy was coming in and showing me, he was like, you the owner? I'm like, I'm the owner. He's like, so you never done it? I was like, I never done it. Like you bought it and you never done it? I'm like, no, I knew
I'm
this is
gonna
the
learn.
equipment that was needed. And I did. So I literally had no backstory on popcorn, and it helped me though, because I wasn't tied to those old recipes.
Yep.
I wasn't tied to those old traditions of like this is how it should be, and that's really how we got to like we have over 50 flavors because I approached it so new. I ain't have no limitations, and a lot of times that ignorance or that newness or that freshness be like your superpower.
Yeah, be your
like,
breakthrough.
Yeah, coming into the space though, we kind of ran into resistance as we was going everything against the grain. And my thing was just kind of like, why not with everything?
Yeah.
It was like, that's too many flavors. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Well, that's just, you can't do all the flavors. I was always just like, well, why not? Like,
What's-
it's just this.
So now that you're in this industry and you have your business, what was your favorite popcorn flavor prior to and what is now?
So people ask me that every day, literally, no exaggeration.
Question.
No, because it's like we got so many flavors,
Yeah.
it really do
Got
be like
50 flavors.
intimidating. So people always, they look around for a second and they be like, so what's your favorite? and like every single day. But
Yeah.
really, it's like because there's so many flavors and I eat it so much, no exaggeration, I go through like phases where it's like I find a flavor, I'm like, I eat that for months or weeks, then I mix it with something else. Now I'm
You're
on
like,
this
"Ooh, this
now,
good."
then I do that. So right now, it's like we got a flavor called spicy honey garlic, which is like
It sounds good.
yeah, it got a little sweetness to
fire.
it. And I've been mixing that with just our caramel pecan. That's me today. Tomorrow,
Like
I might switch
Yeah.
on.
spicy,
Yeah,
look,
sweet and
flavor.
spicy.
Savory.
Yeah, like our go-tos that we have, of course, like, so we have the official St. Louis mix. So the official popcorn of St. Louis. So it's like caramel and cheese, which everybody knows is Chicago mix. So we took that and said, okay, let's recreate that for St. Louis. So we made our cheese with red hot riplets. So it's got that spice of red hot riplets. You get the little crunch of the chips. And our caramel, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dad's cookies. Like the Dad's oatmeal cookies.
Yeah.
You probably see them in every gas station in the
oatmeal
big
cookies.
glass jars.
A big old throwback cookie.
I probably the big like you said.
Yeah, they
big
be in a
jar.
big glass
Okay.
jar. They super St.
I'm all
Louis. They
right.
from out of South City. So we made our caramel with those cookies though. So you get like the sweet of the Dad's cookies with the caramel. You get the spicy of the chips with the red hot riplets. Man, perfect
And
combination. I mean, you get everything in there.
Inspiring the different flavors. Like y'all just be waking up, be like, you know what? Them one cookies.
Almost though, but then it just be like customers though. So now that we've kind of been known for having the flavors, like it ain't a day goes by that a customer come in like,
You know,
y'all should make this.
Yeah.
Or like, have y'all did this? We should try this. And then me myself, I'm always trying different flavors. Like we have a lot of failures, like, a lot of flavors that don't make the cut. But then we have like after those, you go through like 5 that you get that jewel out of it. Like okay, this one stays.
It's the one.
So yeah.
And I know you have this is a family business.
Yeah.
You have your kids super engaged. Where do they come in the process? Is it flavor testing? Is it operational? Where do they come in?
Yeah, everything. So that's the reason I really started it, right? So like I said, as an entrepreneur, I'm always doing business. I've been always doing, whether it was fashion shows, booking, always doing stuff. But as my kids were starting to get older, I wanted to incorporate them more. So they were really like a driving force of me wanting to do like a family business, something that they can be in and be a part of and kind of do that. So they were my driving force. Then once we got open, of course, they were on it. But now like, it's almost like with anything, because they got all the flavors. My kids are the most basic when they come in. They be like, I'll take butter, I'll take cheese. Like, they don't even get into all the flavors no more because they eat it so much. So they just go through that.
Regular stuff.
Yeah. But they really tied into the business. Like they really understand the because the best gift I feel like I gave my kids, I think the best gift you can give is they really watched it grow.
Yeah.
So like especially my daughter and then all my sons, they came and seen it later, but she was there, she literally watched it go from us saying pop 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 doing that to it being open to us like, you know, cutting the first
TV.
ribbon at that first going on TV and seeing
the
that
billboards
and seeing
and
the
stuff.
second location and then the stadium. Like so she watched it all though. So subconsciously and then I make sure that they see it.
Yeah.
So they see it on their own and then I point it out for them.
Yeah.
So you can see though, and not because it's so great that I'm doing it, but just so wherever you go in whatever path in life, right? Ideally I would like, because we want to be a national franchise. That's how it goes. So ideally, I would like them to maybe have a board seat to kind of steer it to where it can really be generational.
Yeah.
But just say they get to a point, because my daughter's almost like that already. When they get to a point where like, I don't want to do nothing with popcorn, like nothing, like keep me away, right? So sometimes that happens where like kids, they grow up in a business, they be like, I don't want to do nothing that my parents did.
Yeah.
But you have that in your mind that like I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, any thought that come to my mind, I can really do it because I literally watched my dad grow something from an idea to something this level. And I think that's the biggest thing. So like when it get crazy, because it gets way crazy with retail, man, with all the moving parts and coming in with no experience, and it gets crazy. But when I'm dealing with it all, that's what motivates me to keep going. It's
Of course.
I want them to see it and be able to overcome it.
Definitely a great role model.
They gotta do their homework, get the popcorn shop.
Oh yeah, they definitely coming in like coming we at the shop.
Like, Daddy, I'm tired of smelling popcorn. That's all we do.
So my oldest is 21, and I don't know if you even recall, but back I don't know how long ago it was, but she was in the fashion show with me. She came out with me. She was the oldest, but she was a kid. So just like you said with your daughter, when I tell you can't get my daughter to do nothing, nothing. Today was her first time being around the podcast setting in years. Okay, so she came in now. She see where we recorded.
Okay.
You know,
She all
It's
like,
kind
I'll
of
be
sparking
back.
now. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
see
I wanna
this.
come
Okay.
through.
I definitely relate to that. I understand that tremendously, and it is good. And although she's not an entrepreneur, and a lot of times, especially having girls, everyone always asks me, "Oh, do your daughters walk in heels, or do they want to do what you're doing?"
Right.
And it's like, well, I don't get that from them, but they do get exposure to who they are. They might be the next best photographer,
Yeah.
or they might be the next best whatever in other different areas. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing. So it
Exactly.
is an awesome thing to bring them in and just let them help identify who they are, in this space more.
Because that's the biggest thing, though. It's like, ideally, you would want, and this for everything, like for every father
Yeah.
that played basketball, he hopes his son comes up to be
Of
like
course.
the next to that.
Of
But it's
course.
rare that happens.
he
though.
is, yeah.
But you really want to give them that, this is in me,
Yeah.
right? Like the
Yeah.
old, like I got kids, of course, so I watch a lot of it. But even before I had kids, I ain't gonna be excuse. I love the Lion King,
Okay.
right? And like the idea of Mufasa being in Simba, right?
Yeah.
To take it from that, but like to have like, oh, I come from that, and that's what other coaches have that we don't have because of the hurdles we had to overcome. To when you can look and be like, oh, I come from that though.
Yeah.
Like when you go in, a lot of these founders have like their great grandfather on the wall, right? So
Yeah.
when everything gets crazy, you remember, oh, I come from that,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
Dukester, whoever that is that did
Remember
that.
who
That's
you
really
are.
in me.
Exactly.
And that's true generational wealth,
Yeah.
though.
That
Like when everybody
is.
preaches generational wealth,
Yes.
it's not just the dollar.
It's
really
about
just like
knowledge.
it's about the knowledge and it's about the like what we've done.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh no, we come from people that do this.
Yep.
I can do this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're teaching them the possibilities of what you can do.
What you can
Yeah,
do.
like, hey, you got this in you. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want to
Yep.
do, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So-
You know what it brings to mind, and I'm gonna dap into that, but like I love the Kendrick Lamar song, the DNA song.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when I tell you that fires me, and it, for me personally, I'll be like, I'm doing this for next.
Yeah.
Like if I'm tired and I put that song on, whatever I got going on, sometimes I just put it on to just give myself more
together.
fire,
Absolutely.
and that's all I think about. Like I just really want them to know who they are and not go through my exact path. Rather, whatever you decide to do, like know who you are and own it,
That's
and
right.
Yourself.
That's a
be your
fact, man.
best.
I mean, because I literally like we breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
Like, I just lost my dad last year. Like he's my superhero for sure. My dad's super street. Like he was in jail most of my life in and out, gangster through and through. And when I was younger, I had the negative side of that. Right. I thought I wanted to be a gangster because I knew my dad was a gangster. But once I learned more about him, and once he poured into me more, I realized that like, okay, he had these good qualities, right? So I can take that and then run further. So that's how I want my kids to be with me. It's like, no, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I did this. So I want you to take this and then run further. Though. I want you to
Yes.
like, yeah, my dad did this, but watch what I do. And then I think
Look
that's
what I can do.
the best thing, right? Look what I can do, right? And then have that though, like to set a good bar though. Like that really what motivates me. I'm sure that's what motivates you with yours. Like set a good bar though. So your daughter coming behind you to be like, this ain't good enough because the bar is already here.
Yeah.
So I know we pretty much at time, but I have a question, and I want to pick your brain on this. With what you're saying with the dopeness and the greatness that you put out, do you think that could form a sense of intimidation, not necessarily for your daughter, but for your sons? Because it's like, look, my daddy was selling Time Warner.
Yeah,
Candy bar. He got McDonald's jingles. He did shows. He was a rapper. He didn't build this brand up to this. Like, do you think that when they get up to age, it will be more intimidation versus aspiration? Or
yeah.
what do you
That's a lesson I learned. I'm still learning
Okay.
because now it's to my kids.
Yeah.
But it's always been like you said, like you going all the way back. My record was at 16 with like trying to assemble like a team. I always had like this team mindset of like let's us win, right? Like even when we were doing the fashion show, I was always trying to like rally, right? Like let me put you in place, let me do this, let me do this. But what happens is because like I said, I have this spirit and I'm running fast. You would think that you would be like, run with me, let's go, I'm gonna show you how to run. But what happens is most people they stop, they throw their hands up, like you run too fast.
Yeah.
You got it all. Like that's what happens though, and it used to drive me
short, but
crazy.
you running so fast.
People be like, yeah, no, people feel like, well, you just got it all. I can't be you, so I won't do nothing. But really, it's like I'm not saying I'm LeBron and no shirts and imagination, but I love LeBron, so I use him as an example. LeBron is LeBron. No, you're not LeBron.
No,
But
right.
he
LeBron.
needs you.
Yeah.
LeBron needs you to hit that three.
Yes.
Exactly.
He gonna get 40, but he needs you to hit the three.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't quit and
Yeah.
just watch him. I need you to do that.
Yes.
So I've dealt with that my whole, and now it's like as I finally got older and mature, I used to just get mad and just like scoff it off.
Oh
Like,
man, yeah.
you got no hustle, man. You ain't gonna do this. You ain't gonna do that.
Yes.
But really, it's like it leads to that intimidation.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to measure up exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm better at understanding now, so now I'm better at explaining. It's like,
Okay.
no, you're not me. You are great,
Yeah.
and you don't need to be me because I'm great being me.
Right.
You be great at being
Be
you.
you.
But I need you to be great at being you.
Yeah.
And that's how we win. So like, even before you get to the kids, with just like people around you, people you working with, people you come in, because it intimidates people. And then the worst thing that we do as Black people is that we try to size each other up. And that's where the jealousy comes from.
Compare.
It's like wherever you pull up in, it's like, oh, he driving that.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying you're driving that. The moment you start to compare it, envy's gonna kick in and stuff like
Exactly,
that. And then
jealousy.
you either gonna subconsciously compete or you just gonna give up. Like,
But I love the saying, you can be jealous without hating. Because I can aspire to have what you have,
Yeah,
or I
yeah.
can aspire to like what you have. But at the same time, we're in our own separate lanes. We are who we are,
Exactly.
regardless of whatever we're doing, because we're going to shine differently within this space.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but I agree with you a lot. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Conversations.
Yeah, because a lot of people, and you can't bring everybody with you.
can't.
Because everybody don't know how to run that same race that you're running. Yeah.
So what I just came to like the sense of maturity or mental maturity, and yeah, we're gonna end it, y'all. The sense of maturity
Cut that shit.
was episode, girl, was
this gonna be a deluxe. We waited
this is
3
a
times
deluxe,
to get this. This is
man.
deluxe.
it's gonna take 2 years to upload. Is like learning how to mind your business and not other people's business. So to what you're saying, and not from a messy or dramatic standpoint, but to what you just said, like it used to actually tick you off when people didn't do their greatness, like when they execute their own greatness.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we can't play God, in someone else's life. So it's like
You can only do your part.
what we can do is nurture. I can nurture you, but I can't play God in your life. So that was the sense of mindset, maturity that I've had. And I was just like, oh, okay. I feel
Yeah, and that's definitely the same with your kids, unfortunately.
Yeah,
like,
that's what-
you could nurture
Yep.
them. You
Yep.
kind of got to be that.
Bring
it
back full
and
circle.
leave that space
Yes.
of like,
Yes.
this is there, but you still got to figure it out.
Yeah. Having a 21-year-old, I am a mentor.
Adult.
Yes.
When you say you got kids, no, you have an adult.
I just be mentoring her every day, and I just be like, whoo. But
Yeah.
me being me, it's like I just like don't. Well, it's kind of horrid. But
But-
I don't want to say don't be great because you ain't got no choices. I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
don't take.
You
I don't
ain't taking
understand
nothing
it.
less. Yeah, no, definitely. But sometimes
yeah.
people need that. It's
Yeah.
a balance, though. It's really a balance. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes you need a push.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need that inspiration.
I just don't want it to be compared and feel intimidated and then feel less than.
Yeah.
But I want you to see what the obstacles I've been able to achieve and my own challenges that I still go through day to day. I'm very open with my daughter being now that she's a woman and I'm a
Yeah.
woman. And it's like, I'm human too, And
Exactly.
so I want you to
But
keep
at least she
going.
has that, though,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
some of us didn't even
We
have
ain't got
that.
none.
Yeah, exactly. We just fly by
Like,
the
this is
wayside.
what you're supposed to do. And
And I know we out of time though.
Tony
Like, right?
was like, you can do Tony the tiger.
I'm telling you,
Be like-
I'm a super pusher though. But like, look, before we get out though, like, I want to do it on camera because
Yes.
like Rihanna, like you said, you were in your shell, but like Rihanna, like super shy, quiet. Even back from the original fashion show, I was like, oh man, like she's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I was like super proud of you then. Now I'm even more proud of you now though. I don't know how much on the show you talked about your caterpillar to butterfly moment
Yeah.
though, but like you are a true butterfly though. Like, do you talk about like you growing up, or you just if you know, you know?
I just was chill.
Yeah.
No. You gotta let people know, like, cause I'm like super inspired by like
If you know
how
my stuff,
out you are,
You know.
and how
That part.
not even your story per se, like the step by step, but just like your exact personality of like, cause so many young girls are shy. So many young girls, they have like stories and stuff like that who are like you bottle it up and you don't
Yeah.
become like this though. So
Yeah.
have you talked about how you came from that to this. Because
don't
y'all
know.
had me rap a McDonald's commercial, so I'm not
I don't
finna
talk
let
about
you
that.
off the.
I don't be talking about that. I don't be talking about that.
The episodes be more about the person.
About you.
Right, but no,
So-
it's
so-
about me.
so
Tell
no.
me just in short. You like, well, just how does it feel? Just give me a synopsis of like, what is it like to be this new Rihanna?
It feels amazing. It feels great. Now, but it does feel great.
Yes.
I'm very, very thankful for Crystal as well, because she's one of them people, like, she's running a race and she's like, bring your ass on. She pulling me along.
Yeah.
She got to tie a little rope on me and tell me to come on.
Yeah.
So, like, no matter how she goes, she helps me to see different levels of myself as well. So I appreciate her.
I want to piggy over that. It's because of what I see. Like, she dope.
Yeah.
And so I'm with you. It's
Yeah.
like, do you not know who she is?
It
She's
gonna
so
make me
dope.
cry, y'all.
Man, I love it. I love so. I mean, I love both of y'all. I love the whole podcast and platform, but just to see y'all growth and to see that, like, I'm inspired by that. Like, so hopefully was happy to be able to inspire you back then to do that, but just like to see
I ain't
y'all
went to sleep since.
grow and, say we've been rolling ever since. No, but I'm super inspired. That's why I wanted to make sure I did the podcast, and I wasn't gonna let Rihanna get out of here without acknowledging, because sometimes like you don't know. So like that, and this is a sidebar. Like sometimes like in this space, right? So I come from like the extreme environments. I done did and seen it all, right?
Pretty much.
But now I'm like this popcorn guy. I've been on TV a lot with the panda. So sometimes I be telling people, they be like,
What?
I don't see it. Like, I don't believe it. They be like, even when I
You
tell
was a
people I'll rap,
You
they
was
be
a
like,
gangster. You was a
I don't
rapper.
even see that.
You a gangster.
So like, I'll be like, okay, now is God willing, it's like, okay, you kind of crossed over to the point where now it's like, it's funny to me that I'll be finding myself convincing people of my true past, right? So like, and I know it's kind of got to be like that with you, Rihanna, because you so like, man, I'm talking about.
She's very poised.
She's a butterfly though, but like, I just remember she was like, we could be here all day. Rihanna wouldn't say a word. It's like, is Rihanna here?
She don't know that.
She don't know that.
No.
That's what I'm saying though. But
She's the extrovert for
she's a true extrovert now though, and that's amazing though. Like,
Look,
I'm
he gonna
telling
come
you,
in first.
she's a super extrovert now.
Yeah.
And like, but I know that took some work. I know it did, and I know it took like some peeling off.
I think
some
what
layers.
College did that for me.
Okay.
College kind of transformed me. Just different people, being around different stuff, having to talk to people, having to just do stuff. But then just growth and honestly loving God more.
Yeah.
Finding myself loving God more allowed me to love myself so much more, because I think securities also is what makes you become that butterfly, as well as recognizing my own light.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't recognize who you are until you actually find out who you are.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
Yeah, so that's my tidbit. Like I told you to get in the show on the High Heels and Tea podcast.
Yes.
Tell them about that light that y'all got glowing and how you got
They
to
see
that.
that light.
Because I know they want to hear about the popcorn stories and all that, but they really want to know how that light got to glow, like, because y'all on her styling and shining. But they might not, I mean, because I'm telling you, there's a young Rihanna somewhere looking at this and would not know though, because she wouldn't even. She says you a pure extrovert.
She is,
and I know because like I'm like
I don't know what you talking about.
You don't know, right? And
it's me that's like,
man, and that's
they don't know that part of it.
man, that's the best though. That's really that's the story though, right? So that's the story of from being like a shy, reserved girl to like doing a podcast that go on YouTube. All out there. That means you really have really crossed.
But the funny part about that is people who know that part of me always say, I can't believe you're doing a podcast. I just don't see. I'm so proud of you. And I'll be like, oh, okay, thank you.
So think about that little girl though. She need to get over that hump. Because that's what I think about. Like I really come from the hood, the projects. There's some little kids back there. They need to know like, oh, so I can really have a family, own a business. So I don't really gotta go to jail. So I always tell those stories. I don't glorify it at all.
Yeah, that's good.
Sometimes I go into detail. Sometimes I can't just because time don't even permit it. Yeah. But if people really knew, they'd be like, you got to there. So I try to tell it as much as possible. And like I know Rihanna, like so I know it, like so I'm seeing the whole thing. And just like people who really know me, they be like, I can't believe you.
The popcorn man.
You straight got a popcorn business. So man, let's just keep that light shining. I'm gonna try to do the same, but I just wanted to make sure that you weren't gonna get away with me sitting on the couch getting interviewed by you and have you giving
Hey.
all this glow without acknowledging the fact that I see you, your glow up,
Thank you.
and you as well. Like
Thank
I
you.
said, from not even wanting to do that first fashion show we did to now y'all was all over the world doing these, classes and all that. I seen it all. I'm super proud. So
Thank
it
you.
ain't gonna be just about me today. I had to
Don't be trying.
make sure I threw them flowers on y'all for sure.
But we highly appreciate
Yes,
you.
we do.
We highly appreciate you just sharing in the background. I learned more about you. I learned something about her. I ain't know. I've been around this chick for so many years. You informing me. Can you share with the listeners, with the viewers, where they can tap into you at?
Yeah, so of course, if you want to experience that Pop Hurray, we're in St. Louis. We got 2 locations, one in Ferguson and one in St. Charles. But we do ship nationwide. So it's pophurray.com.
Yeah.
Hit the website, get you some popcorn. Like we got over 50 flavors. And of course, we are super proud to be the official popcorn of the Busch Stadium and the Cardinals.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we've been there. It's our 3rd season.
Boom.
And
Yes.
we're super proud of that. We're going to
Yeah.
keep growing. Like I said, the plan is to be a national franchise. So we're going to keep rolling and keep doing it and try to be an inspiration, man, shining that light like you
That's
ladies
awesome.
shining that light for sure.
Hey.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to the
Let's
High
shine
Heels
shine.
Tea
Thank
podcast.
you.